Okay, we're here. Like, we had a false start before, and now I've started, and I was like, okay, you ready, guys? All my drama got sucked out of it. But anyways, we're here. Next, the third episode of Law of Attraction with Boys Noize and a special guest where we talk about the music, the process behind the new album Polarity. And this episode's guest is a very, very hotly anticipated one. Everyone, please welcome ABRA.
Hi.
Oh, and one more time. Everyone, please welcome ABRA.
Hey.
Hi. Okay, and Alex Boys Noize is here. Where are you calling in from? Alex, you're in Miami. ABRA, where are you?
Yeah.
I'm in LA.
Okay, we've got both palm tree capitals of each coast.
Yep. Coast to coast.
Happy to see you guys. So happy to be back here. Welcome everybody to the new episode. Really excited to see you, Julian and Abra. What's up?
Truly international, Pacific, Atlantic, LA, Miami, Berlin. And Affection, the video, finally, it was kind of a surprise drop too. And it happened Thursday, just a few days ago.
Yes. Yeah. What is today even? Saturday? Yes.
I feel the same. Very, very, very exciting. I guess to maybe just start because, I mean, first of all, it was my personal favorite song on the album. And from the beginning, I said, Alex, this is a hit.
It's true.
This
It's
is
true.
hot.
Yeah, you said it. You said it. It's so cool. This song came together so organically. You know, we just hang out and started it from scratch. It was perfect.
Yeah. Working with Alex is always a lot of fun. Like, we kind of nerd out on or jam a lot, moving around our rolling chairs in silence, but it's always a vibe.
Yes, especially with you. Like, we were just together a few days ago, and you said like, like, I love like hearing, some music ideas and beats and stuff, but I get really creative when we can start from zero and, go from the first sound to the main
Yeah.
idea. And it's so
Yeah.
true. And that's, to me, I agree. It's when really you start, the brains get together and the feelings and the emotions all at once. And Affection was exactly that way. It's so cool to have a video now too.
Yeah, it's been like such a long, I don't know, it's long, cool, winding, creative journey with that song and just working with you in general. So I'm really happy to see it's out. It's kind of surreal, to be honest.
Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, I was just wondering, should we talk about how we made the song or the video before?
Yeah.
I guess Julian, you kind of.
Well, I was going to say, in case people don't know, I mean, a lot of times the way it works is like, and this is why I couldn't really like make music production a career path, is like a lot of times it's like someone gives an artist 50 beats or something, and they just like listen through them and pick out a couple they like, and maybe work on them. And then, oftentimes, I mean, it's also crazy the amount of songs that your favorite artist makes that never come out, like hard drives full of them, and you'll never hear them. Like your favorite song ever could be sitting on a hard drive somewhere in LA. But anyways, to make a song from scratch, like from nothing in the studio together on top of it all, is like a kind of a rare. It's not a process that happens that much right now. So I think it's really special that it came together that way. And yeah, set the scene. What happened? How did you come also on making what was essentially like a Miami-based, like So Def-based all-stars sort of 90s Atlanta-based kind of feeling track?
Well, let me start first because I was a huge fan of ABRA's music. I bought some of the records, and I love the kind of innocent vibe and the production and the music, and then your voice. Everything was just so raw, and it even could have even fit in my sets. Like if I play a house record, like I could have even that. And so I was a fan, so I was trying to get a hold of you, and
You
good
were trying
enough
to
we
get a hold of me?
know. Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
That's crazy.
yeah, and so at that point our friend we had some similar friends, so yeah, we met then in the studio in LA downtown, and we were just talking, sharing some tunes and stuff, and you right away you were like on the kind of like the freestyle
Mhm.
stuff, and you were showing me some of these records, and it's a very interesting, it's a genre that kind of died really quickly. It's like breakbeat but with like R&B singers, and it was such a short time in the 90s or like late 80s when that happened. um and I love this stuff. I have a big collection of all of these like early freestyle records. Obviously I love anything breakbeat, and so that kind of gave us the kind of like the first kind of idea. And then I remember I had my drum machine. I made fairly simple 808 breakbeat,
I love
and you
that
were,
drum machine. I was so
yes,
enthralled by that.
and you were on the synth, and so you played that bass line over the drums I was making, which is
Mhm.
kind of is kind of us. Like now
Yeah,
looking back, we've done that
that's really
quite
dope.
often, right?
Yeah, I feel like every time, yeah, it's really actually kind of cool. That was actually my first session in LA. Like I had just moved there, I think, and that was my first session. So to think that, like, I don't know, it's just very special.
Wait, so that bass line
Yes.
melody was Abra, you wrote that the bass line melody, the core melodic structure of the track.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I guess
Wow.
right. I mean, we were jam. Yeah, I was just kind of jamming, but yeah, bass is usually the root of all things good and all of my music, at least. So yeah, that's where I found myself. Especially because I learned to make music like on the guitar. I feel like it's really important. I've learned to be hands-on while I'm, making something instead of just listening to beats. So yeah, I just started jamming, and then there's like a video of him on the drum machine just going in. It was like, what is it, 909s? I don't know,
Well,
but
yeah, it's this electron machine drum where it has analog stuff, but you can also put in your 808 and 909 samples. Mostly, I think at that point was 808 with the analog engine for the nerds out
yeah,
there.
Alex put me on hardware. Like I didn't realize how important that or necessary or different it was than just like, plugging things in with MIDI or, playing everything through software. Like actually touching and feeling things, it does make a really big difference. It's very interesting.
And to me, it's even more than that. It's not only like recording the sounds and tweaking it with your hands and stuff. It's also not looking at the computer,
Yeah.
like to me, like when I make, I mean, I'm quick in Logic, and I have all my sounds in there too. I have every possible plugin, and everything gets in the end it all ends up in the computer, I guess. But it's nice to, yeah, while you create, to not look at the screen, and yeah, as you say, like be with an instrument you like and just play
Hmm.
with it.
Not looking at
Yeah.
screens is important in general, I think. Also, hardware, like you can jam with hardware. You can't jam if you like just use Fruity Loops on your laptop, really. So, and I mean, yeah. So hardware made this song possible because this song also came from a jam session, which is uh, pretty special and unique in itself. So that's a interesting origin story for sure. But there's a lot of atmosphere in the track too. These like gated, spaced out kind of like vocal stabs in the background, and that kind of crunchy, noisy like reverse intro sort of reverb tail that comes in. I mean, it's like definitely like a mood. Like it's a moody track, and I like what time at what time in the morning was it when you all were making it, or like what was like how did the mood get that like that?
That's funny because it was like in the middle of the day, wasn't it? Like it was like some like really basic
Yeah.
time, like 3 p.m. or something for us. Like it doesn't even feel like it's that song, but no,
The studio was dark. The studio room was dark. That's for sure.
it was dark.
But yeah, I think I don't know. It was just like adding, you know, the distorted one. I think that's even a guitar. I'm not sure if it was your guitar or whatever guitar, but it was a guitar sound that I don't know. It's just cool, a cool harmonic layer to it, and then yeah, the production kind of evolved. Even with the vocal recording. You know, we were definitely going over it here and there. I left it, you know, with a lot of the tracks that I make and a lot of songs, I get this initial idea and then I usually let it sit for a while until I have the right brain and right vision to like, or the right mode, let's say that fits better to like be in this like finishing, okay, what does it need to be a fully finished song? And sometimes it takes me years to figure it out. And it was the same for you, right, Abra? Like we recorded all these like extra vocals that ended up in the end and stuff, but they really made the song. Like without them, they sound like when I listen back to some of the demos, I mean, the song basically was there, but still like every little detail, it's so impressive sometimes to see how the little details can make something so complete and important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then also time. I think it's easy to lose perspective when you're in, especially when you're jamming. I just like have this vision of like you being very intensely on the drum machine, me being very intensely on the synth, and it's like you get so sucked into it, you almost like lose perspective. So I think it is important that you take some time. So then when you get to it again, you not only have like a new perspective to look at it from, but also excitement for it again. Because we listen to that, like, you know, when you're making a beat or a song, it's like you listen to it like what 300, 400 times in some hours. So it's like, yeah, I think I don't know. It's
and exactly, and that in those moments, like, you know, we can have hundreds of those. We can have like 50 of those, you know, you on an instrument, myself on an instrument, we record it.
We do have hundreds of
but
those.
yeah, yeah, but then maybe only one is the good one, you know.
Yeah.
Which is fine because like we're here to make music, and so it's exactly that. Like when you step away, then you can, even the next day. I mean, how many records did I make one night and I thought it was the bomb, and then the next morning I wake up and it's absolutely horrible and embarrassing.
I don't know. I feel like when I work with you, a lot of times it's like we'll make something and give it some time, and I'll come back and be like, "We made this," and just be so blown away. You know, gotta let your baby live sometimes. Sometimes we like give birth to this like artistic thing and then make immediate judgments on it when it just needs some time to breathe and give ourselves some time to breathe. So, yeah.
The arrangement was quite a the arrangement was quite a difficult task as well, which is usually the case with, like, you know, whenever there's like a, you know, vocal over something, and or you have a hook and stuff. So I remember the first verse was clear, the chorus was a little unclear, and then the second verse was like, because we have this like beautiful melody that comes in, this is kind of like the bridge part, and I had such problems like placing where to place it. Is this the second verse? Is this just a breakdown? And so for that reason, I yeah, it was needed more time as well.
I was a very big fan of that little, just like wordless vocal melody. I thought it was like super sticky. I was like, that should be the hook. But I think in the arrangement, you like balanced it really well to like keep that part with a lot of focus and also still giving, I guess, the lyrical hook the space it needs. I mean, you, I guess not too long before Affection came out, though, you all had another collaboration come out, which was Unlock It, and I wonder, very different vibe in terms of the song, except you can still something still really special about the production and the sounds. You can tell it's a Boys Noize track. Whoa. But I wanted to, did those come out of the same sort of duration of sessions? Did it operate differently? How did both of those? How did Unlock It come about?
I as I remember it, I think actually we met up to record final vocals for Affections, and it had been going well, and we had been jamming so much, and we did one jam that went really well that night, and so I was like, I had made like hella drafts of Unlock It, and so on like draft 27 or something, there's a part that I really liked, and I was like, you know what, me and Alex work really good together, so I brought him this breakdown part of the song, and I was like, yo, I really love this part, I really want to expand on it. So we turned it into a sample, and then yeah, it's kind of the same vibe, like just jamming around the sample. And yeah, it kind of was very similar process as Affections.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah, it was a little later. It was probably like almost maybe, is it 2 years later? I don't know. Yeah,
Yes,
right? Crazy. Yeah, because we recorded Affection, I think in like late 17 or early 18 or something.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
winter. Yeah.
That's
And
so
then when
long
we
of
made
this time.
Unlock It, yeah, it was crazy. And then Unlock It, that was more recent. And yeah, exactly. You wanted to add some more vocals on Affection. We did this, and then we had a few days together. And yeah, you had this really cool sample, and yeah, we kind of had that as a base and built drums around it, new bass and all of that. And I recorded your vocals, and
I think that was really important too. You recording my vocals, like I usually really like to keep, or up until this point, I've always been like one line clear, vocal top line. And then, but you pushed me to keep recording all these stacks. And now when I listen to it as it's done, I'm like, wow, like this is really, it changes the whole vibe to me, So I think it was really cool that, you pushed me to do a bunch of stuff that I usually don't do on my own when I produce or record myself. It came out really, really fire. Like the whole call and response thing, like I didn't even like hear that in it. So it's tight.
yeah,
I
that
think
was
even
good.
though
That was good.
I think even though Affection is out, y'all need to just still keep working on it. Like maybe there'll be Affection Part 2 and Part 3 and Part 4. And then every time you add something new, you'll also do another song that will come out. So I think you should just keep working on Affection.
I started working on Affection already.
Affection Part 2?
Yeah, I'm
remix.
doing this. I'm trying to, yeah, remix. I was trying to, in fact, it was because, I was playing in LA 2-3 weeks ago, and you were there, and you said you're gonna come out. So I was like, fuck, I gotta have a version that, I don't know, I can play and have like something new with it. So I just broke down the stems, and then added like an instrumental part that works well for my set. And so I started this remix like 2 hours before the show, literally 2 hours, like from nothing. I'm like, yeah, my friends were sitting with me. I'm like, I gotta have like a version for this show. And so I made this dub version, and it sounded cool. And yeah, I've been playing it. It works really well in my set. So yeah, we were working on Part 2.
Yeah, I want to remix it too. But that shit fly. That was so
Oh,
hot. I was not expecting that at all. You know, I wasn't even really expecting to go on stage, and then when it dropped, that, you know, like, I guess, I don't know, the drop for it, it was so hard. Like, did you release it? Did you put that out yet? That version?
No, so the song I mixed in with the That Shit Fly, that's actually from my Russian guys, Locked Club. You should check it out. And that song
Damn.
came out like, yeah, that song came out a couple months ago on Boys Noize Records. But
Well, I
it
mean,
was like the
is it
transition.
gonna ever come out?
Oh, the dub mix? Hell yeah. But you know what? You just said you want to remix it too. So I gotta send you the stems
Yeah.
because there's
You
gotta
know
be
I
an
do.
ABRA. Yes. I want to hear your version of it. That's for sure.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I learned a lot of production stuff, you know, from you, working with you, and you taught me a lot. You're like my production sensei now. So it'd be really cool to do that, actually, to remix that song we made together, you know. I'm looking forward to it for sure.
I think we should have an affection release like every year. I mean, I think also I want an affection summer EP too, because does it feel like more of a summer or
Ooh.
winter song to y'all? Because I mean, it came out the last week, but I would
Summer
love
for
to
sure.
just drive and feel it in the breeze, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Night drive for sure. Summer night drive.
So it's like Affections EP of 5 different versions of Affections. That's what you're saying,
Yes.
a re-release?
We should do it like they did it back in the day, where they just take the same beat and write different different hooks over it.
Like
You know, like
dance hall rhythms. Like you could Diwali,
exactly.
the one with that had like 5 hits. You should bring that back with affection. And I think ABRA is referring to as affections, plural. And
Oh, yeah.
it should just be affections, plural, because
I
there
don't
should
know
be
why I keep
many of
calling
them.
it that.
So, no,
Right.
you're just getting ready to have multiple versions of affections, and they'll just be referred to as affections, because there's, there'll be 12 of them or something. It's perfect.
The subconscious wants it too, I guess. I can't stop calling it affection. So yeah, I guess you're right. That's up next.
Is that I mean, this kind of like up tempo. I mean, I guess this breakbeats in general feel like they're coming back in a variety of ways, whether it's like drum and bass or just the breaking up the 4/4 beat pattern. And I mean, is there other songs playing with this template? Do you feel like we could have a moment of a resurgence of this kind of like Miami bass freestyle tinged music? I mean, I was just looking back, refreshing my memory, because I used to really follow this music a lot too and dig for all the records. But how big it was in the mid to late 90s, like So Def Bass All Stars time, like #1 hits, like videos that cost like $1 million. It's crazy. Like the video for like Lathan Freak It is like very very expensive, as well as like
It's
69
insane.
Boys Woof Woof, like from the Doolittle soundtrack. Like, okay, that's the best 69 Boys song, but the video is like, it reminds me of
You
like,
just took it
Master
back.
P.
You just took it all the way back. You just took it all the way back with the 69 Boys. That's crazy.
I mean, there were some really good records like from that time when it was like,
This
the
hero,
production got a little better, and yeah, and it was hitting the charts, so it was huge. I mean, there's no reason why it shouldn't have a moment again. And maybe y'all could spearhead it, but how do you feel about that moment again?
It's hard to say, because I feel like that's been my template since I started. Like, I remember hearing Summertime remix. I think it's what's her name?
Karina.
It's not not her version. It was No Sarah. They used to play it anyway at this club Europe in Atlanta. That used to be a thing. They used to play it over the radio, and it was like a remix. And when I heard that, I like really fell in love with it, and it was super simple, it still like hit, and it was still groovy. And so I feel like I don't know, it's been like my moment for a minute. Like, I love that style. I don't see why it hasn't already,
Yeah, same. Like for me, I it's the same with like, you know, I was just talking about with rap music, you know, since when was the moment that rap music became just rap over trap beats or like boom bap, you know, like when I listen to how chart,
A good
like,
point.
you know, like when you listen to, I mean, any 90s rap, there's so many like 80s, like even Jay-Z, you know, like sampling some 80s records, or Tupac, some disco records, or Biggie and that stuff. And, you know, or when it started over like straight up disco sound, like I don't see why, you know, it's I guess it's part of the labels when they see something works well and it just stays there. I don't know. It's interesting, but yeah, to me, man, freestyle, breakbeat, R&B, all of that. Yeah, I'm like, this is my dream, that like dream to have that, you know, being popular music again, or like more people doing it. I don't know. I mean,
I think
yeah, I
just
don't.
82 in general, everything kind of is like 808 trap beats, you know, the hi-hat, that's like the, what's it called? I can't even,
The lawn
the
sprinkler.
triplets. Yeah, yeah, the lawn sprinkler. Yeah, the triplet hi-hat, or yeah, it's just like I think like, yeah, back then it was just so much more variety. Like you don't even know what to expect whenever you would hear a song. I was
Yeah.
listening to iTube, you could do it, put your back into it. I'm just like, man, yeah, I miss like all of that. They just, I don't know, incorporated so
Or
much different.
hip house too, like house beats with rap, like Jungle Brothers and stuff. So good. I feel like we're getting back there though, because like, you know, I think the let's see, the someone that just listens to music, I think they also get bored listening to I mean, they must get bored after some time listening to music that just sounds the same all over.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's been refined just to. I mean, it's how anything kind of works on the internet. It's like things get drilled down into what's the most mimetic. Like it's the way like memes work. Like why was like Pepe become like why did that frog become such a huge meme repeated over and over everywhere? It's because something about it resonates with a whole bunch of people. And it's kind of the same with like the trap beat setup. They know it works. They know it resonates with a large audience in a time where it's harder to make money from music, where streaming dominates, and where the numbers of streams dominates. Like people are going to repeat formulas that they know work to get high numbers, and that's I think why we kind of got stuck in this template for the past 5-10 years, maybe more.
You just
But I do. Sorry, go ahead.
I think you just made me realize something, that maybe trap is kind of the freestyle of the time. Like it's got a very like with freestyle, I feel like it's the the gated reverb on the hi-hats, whereas on trap it's the triplet hi-hats. Then it's like everyone waits for that bass drop, and then it's a very simple drums otherwise, and then it's just like what three layers pretty much. Like that's kind of freestyle, and then you just put some crazy stuff on top, like something woodwindy or dingle, like sprinkly, glittery. Maybe it's just like freestyle 2.0. I don't know.
I mean, it's true that the 808 is. I mean, that's the backbone of both of those genres, especially that kick, and some Japanese guy who knows. I guess there's a documentary about it that someone told me I should. My uncle really said, he was like really emphatic. He was like, you have to. My Uncle TK, hello Uncle TK. He was really emphatic about me watching this 808 drum machine documentary, and I think I probably should, because it is kind of essential. And it came out Alex, you'd probably know, but like early 80s.
80
and some
84.
Wow.
Some Japanese guy
Oh,
like
82.
actually made that circuit and designed it, which is like, think about how many tracks were made off of this. He's probably like a dad in Japan who like made this drum machine in the 80s, and like so much came out of it. There's also this this kind of.
I actually sorry to interrupt you here. What I've done in Berlin, when I took the song back, because I made it with the Electron drum machine, and we have still that kind of like part in there. but I remade the drums with the actual 808 in my studio too. So that ended up on the record, the OG 808. I had to do it. I was like, man, I'm using
Authentic.
the samples. Nah, I got the real one. I gotta get it. And it sounds great.
We got the legit. We got the. We're valid. Valid.
Yeah, it's good you brought the real deal in. I mean, maybe let's just. I got to think of the question I was going to ask before, but people want to know your opinion. I'm sure, Alex. Does it? Is there a real difference between the actual analog box and digital versions, or analog modeling on a software version? Can you tell the difference? Do you insist on the quality of the actual hardware instrument, and is it just the like line noise that actually people like better about it?
So there's three questions I have to answer. So the first one is do I hear a difference between, you know, the real 808 and you know, a digital version of it? I don't. I mean, you know, and I honestly, I don't think any is better, or you know, you can make something better with the real 808 versus, you know, another one. I mean, there's something about the original 808, because the analog chips, they were built with hand, and you know, you have these like real sine waves, you know, with the envelopes, and everything's analog. So it does, you know, when you play them back to back, you might hear a very slight difference, and maybe myself, I can hear it, but overall, you know, it's really, yeah, it's really I don't know, it doesn't matter at all if you use the real 808 or samples or a digital version of it. I think, you know, the feeling is the same, and the sounds are like, you know, pretty much the same. I happen to have the 808, you know, I bought mine like so early. So, you know, it was still, you know, a couple $100. I mean, I would not buy an 808 right now. I would definitely buy the Roland, you know, what's it called? The Roland S or something like this, that has basically everything in there. But yeah, if I can.
Oh, okay.
No, sorry, go ahead.
I was just curious, is that MIDI? Like that's something.
It's got MIDI too, yeah. So you can hook up. But I gotta say, like, the reason why you want to get a drum machine is because of the step sequencer. Because you don't actually want to use the MIDI. You want to have the groove of the box, and that's what I love so much, is to just click a few buttons. You don't even have to know music at all. You just have to choose one of 16 buttons for each sound, and you have a beat, you know, and just play with the tempo and the levels of the sounds, and that's all. And I love that way of creating grooves and making beats and stuff. It's just like a simple step sequencer. Each sound has its own 16 steps, and yeah, that's the fun part. But yeah, I mean, you know, you can, if you go deep in like frequency, you know, and see really the form of the analog wave versus the digital one. Yeah, you can see a difference, you know, because the analog wave is still round, and the digital one is always trying to recreate it as close as possible. So one might say the original 808 sounds better or warmer. That's what people say, but honestly, if I play you, like, I made tracks with the original one, I made tons of tracks with a digital version of it, you won't be able to hear the difference. So
the
I don't know.
was important enough that you had to just put the spirit of the 808s
yeah, because it was
into the music.
Yeah, it to me, like, you know, I mean, first of all, having the luxury to have a real 808, that was one thing. But on the other side, it was also like, okay, we are actually doing this like proper, 808 beat, you know, so I gotta do the real thing then, you know, with the real rims and the real snare and the real kicks and the real toms and the real hi-hats. So yeah, that was the way. And it's cool because it's like also when you record the drums, it's hard to change them, you know, like in MIDI and stuff, you can still flip around, but once stuff you have recorded, you know, an audio file, it's like, yeah, you can EQ it a little bit, but it's nothing you can do about it again unless you re-record it. I love that too, by the way.
True.
Yeah, I mean, you can experiment more, capture magic moments that, whereas like when you're plugging it, programming it, it's like you have to think and basically think it out. And like, this is what I wanted to sound and mess around. But when you're on a drum machine, it's just like stumble upon like all these, I don't know. I think it's a little bit more, it can be more experimental and a little bit more humanized. Maybe, I don't know. That's what that word is.
Sometimes accidents give you the best. It's actually what you needed to make something special or to give the track a little twist that you wouldn't have thought of. Because, yeah, you can get stuck in these deterministic patterns where you're trying to engineer every single aspect of what's happening in the track. And there's a lot more ways for accidents to happen, I think, when you're using analog and hardware equipment. So it's definitely a part of the creative process. Has there been any accidents that created something really, really special or good in a track you've made in the past?
I think so. One that I made with Alex, that it was so special that I made a 20-minute loop of it. And when I first moved into where I'm living, like all of my roommates were asking me, what is that you're playing? And well, it was like I was playing the guitar and I had it going into the modular while Alex was like, whatever one does on the modular, I don't even know. It's like mad scientist thing. And there's just like a moment where it's just like 30 seconds of like heavenly sounds. I don't know how to remake that. I would not even know how to like engineer it myself.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of my funnest moments too, when I was running your guitar through my modular system, process it crazy, and there's this one module that tries to recreate it with like sine waves. Yeah, I love that shit. It's yeah. I'm always trying to like get something to sound like you haven't heard before, and it's hard, but it's always in the mission. Like, let's just try to get a sound that people don't know how we made it. And every time I'm with you, it's cool that you allow me also to do it, which is also not, you got to have patience sometimes, you know, like in order to get there and understand, like leave the kind of like the openness of the creative process there and give it time and stuff. And
time
going
for
through the process.
I think, what? You know, I said you got to leave some time for chance, for accidents and for things like that to happen. But I was also just thinking about I don't know, a 30-second guitar loop for 20 minutes. I mean, it made me think of like Robin Guthrie, the guitarist for Cocteau Twins. He did an album with Harold Budd, who was like a really old school ambient guy. He worked with Brian Eno like since the putting out records since the late 70s. But Robin Guthrie and Harold Budd did a couple of like ambient records together where it's just like super reverbed out guitar loops, and the records are really, really good. But I mean, ambient also surprisingly is kind of having a moment because people just like put it on in the background all the time, and it's getting like mega streams on Spotify too, which is ironic and kind of awesome. But y'all could like maybe ABRA on guitar and Alex on the modular racks and effects. Y'all should just make some like droney guitar ambient records.
We would never leave the studio. Just be in there like zoned out into it's a vibe though. It's definitely fun as hell.
It's a vibe. It's fun. It's fun making, but honestly, it's more fun making bangers that you can play out and people go crazy on it.
That
like
is fact.
I definitely have a little hard drive of these droney sessions, and they're cool and stuff, but no, man, the bangers.
Yeah.
By the way, Jules,
in the studio at 3 a.m., like writing home to what you just made, like super excited about it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I was saying, little internet. We talked about this, Jules. You were supposed to tell the people to smash the likes and subscribe and like if you want to see this content, and I don't know. You had a list, right?
Smash that like button.
That it's ABRA. They'll listen to ABRA more than they'll listen to me. But smash like and subscribe and ring that bell if you want to hear the spicy secret to making a #1 hit. We should
non number one hits.
It's my
number one in our hearts.
#1 hit. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Is Affection vinyl coming out? What's next?
Well, so we just released the video. I'm getting some remixes. I heard ABRA is gonna do a remix. I'm doing a remix. I got 2 other people that asked me for stems that are really dope house and techno producers. I just sent the stems out to 2-3 guys. And we'll see. We'll pick out the favorite ones and definitely release those, and hopefully then also vinyl. By the way, everybody that is waiting for the Polarity vinyl, the album, it's a terrible time. There was this meme today I saw where it said, like, on the top it says, waiting for my 200 vinyl to arrive in 2031. And then below is a train. It was a train, and then another train below that crashes through the train and says, Adile, 500,000 copies, vinyl production, like immediately. So, you know, the story here is really that the big artists and the major labels, they're kind of like blocking all the slots on the vinyl production, the actual wax. And so, you know, if you have a small limited amount like ourselves, you get pushed back like so far because they're running all these like major artists through the vinyl production first. And so, yeah, it's just a pain in the ass right now to, you know, produce vinyl and put it out, but it's coming. And once we get the remixes, I'm sure there will be Affection vinyl coming as well.
You'll get that Affections 5-track EP yet. Are really that many people putting stuff on wax right now?
No, I mean, it's a small major.
It's a small industry.
There's people are just buying. Yeah, it's very small, but people are buying represses or 100 gram, 180 gram. You know, these big vinyls of like an old David Bowie records and stuff like this. So yeah, the big labels are producing a lot of them.
So how do you all anticipate we can solve the world's current supply chain issues? Tankers not being able to unload. Do you have any ideas for that? The world wants to know.
The Affections.
Yeah, there needs to be. there needs to be more of these like vinyl pressing plants. You know, they're really expensive. They cost like, I don't know, 100,000 or something. I have no idea. But yeah, there's not too many of those, unfortunately.
Maybe we should go back to CDs or something.
I'm down.
I miss them.
Down.
We need to have a moment. Come back.
I think everyone should stream Affection 1 billion times each, and with the streaming racks, Alex, you can open your own vinyl press. That's my idea.
That's a cool site.
There you go.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the deal. Everybody put on Affection on Spotify, put it on loop, and just leave it on forever. Make the volume like so it's not too quiet, and then we can buy a vinyl pressing plant.
I do that anyways,
Maybe
but
in
with the
50
volume on
years.
max.
In 50 years.
We should probably wrap up. There was a lot of chat saying that there should be a Coco Rosie ABRA Boys Noize collab.
I love. Whoa! I forgot all that. Damn, Coco Rosie. I would love that. I would love that a lot. Who said that?
People were talking about it.
Hold
on. I'll find out. We should give a shout out to the people in the chat. As long as they smash the like and subscribe. We have Rift and Rat brought up Coco Rosie first. Then Sueño y Miel said they love Coco Rosie as well. Caroline Bust also loves Coco Rosie, and Anna Petrini loves Coco Rosie. There's a surprising number of Coco Rosie fans in the chat.
Yes.
I think one of the affections maybe should feature Coco Rosie.
That'd be sick.
Also,
I'm down.
ABRA, what's next for you? What do y'all want to leave everyone with?
Shoot. I don't know.
Well, we're working on new music. So we got a few more jams and songs. But yeah, we were just together actually in the studio a few days ago. And hopefully soon again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like we have a lot of great stuff. It's kind of like timing, you know, like, oh, should this come out now? This sounds like a summer song. Like, which one should come out? Because there are a lot of really great ones. So I don't know, it's hard to decide, but a lot is upon the horizon, I will say.
Very, very exciting. I'm excited for all the affections. I'm excited for all of the other records you're making. I'm excited for affections, the 8-hour ambient loop version. And thank you all so much for joining each other on Law of Attraction. We'll be back with more episodes to talk about the music behind Boys Noize Polarity. Thank you all. I'm gonna also leave everyone with the affection video before I end the stream. Last chance to say goodbye or anything else.
Thanks everyone. Thanks for watching and tuning in. Thank you, ABRA, for coming. Hope to see you guys soon. Thank you, Little Internet.
No problem. Wait, ABRA, say something so we can see your face one more time.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, thanks for having me. It was really great to see both of you and talk. And thanks for everyone who came and watched and listened, and smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and be on the lookout for Affections EP coming soon.
Oh my God, keeping me employed. Thank you so much. See you next episode. Smash the like and subscribe.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
just don't feed me up.